Hola a todos, el señor Figueroa, buenos días. Espero estén bien. I hope you all doing okay. Today, we're going to work with definite articles, artículos definidos. And basically, what a definite article is the word the, right here. All right? Now, why are we going to talk about this? Because one of the things we're going to talk about is gender and amount. Everything in Spanish matches, basically. If a sentence is a boy, masculine, then everything has to match that. If a sentence is feminine, a girl, everything has to match that. What do I mean by it? Well, everything in Spanish, as I told you before, has gender. Everything. Only one exception. Verbs. Verbs do not have gender. Verbos. Verbs. Verbos. So, what is a definite article? Well, basically, in English, as I says, the, right? But in Spanish, we have 4 definite articles. We have el and los. And we use this when the sentence or the item we're talking about is a boy. So you see it here. In Spanish, we have el lápiz. Well, lápiz being that is the pencil. Okay, it's supposed to be pencil, not pen, but not perfect. It's a boy. And then if it's a girl, you have la o las. Here you have the ruler, la regla. Well, regla is a girl. Why? Because basically it ends in A. Usually if it ends in O, it's a boy, or in a consonant. Consonant is anything that is not a vowel. And if it ends in A, it's a girl. So what are the 4 definite articles in Spanish? Again, are in singular form, you have el for boy, la for girl. For plural, los and las. All right? So I'm going to show you a couple of examples so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And hopefully it's going to come back to you because we did this earlier in the year, okay? So let me show you the first example. All right, so we got actually more. I have 4 examples. Dos singulares y dos plurales. 2 singular examples and 2 plural examples. So as I was saying, we're talking about acuerdo de género y número, which means gender and number agreement. So la casa roja, which means the red house. All right, la casa roja. Or el auto rojo, which means the red car. Now, la casa, because casa ends in A, that means basically that the sentence is feminine. All right? So everything has to match. And auto, because it ends in O, everything has to match. So everything is masculine. Let's see another one. La chica es alta. La chica es alta. The tall girl. All right? Well, we're talking about a girl. So it ends in A. So the adjective has to end in A. And you got to use the definite article that ends in A. El chico es alto. I'm sorry. El chico alto. El chico alto means tall boy. And chico ends in O. So the adjective has to end in O. And because it's a masculine, it's a boy, it needs to use el. The definite article el. Now, that's the gender number agreement. Now, what about if we're talking about something that is plural? Well, let's take the same sentences. Las casas rojas. Las casas rojas. The red houses. All right? Well, we're talking about more than one house. We're talking about it ends in AS. Because it has the S. It's the same rule as in English. You make it a plural. So the adjective has to match AS. And the definite article has to match AS. Same for the boys. Los autos rojos. Well, autos is a boy, is more than one. So It's plural, so everything else has to match. The adjective has to match, and the definite article has to match. All right. Let's do another one here. Las chicas altas. Again, plural, feminine, and it matches. We don't have that in English. If you see the tall girls, you make the sentence plural just by adding s to girls. Or in Spanish, we can't do that. Otherwise, it would not make sense. So it's something that you have to keep in mind. Here, los chicos altos, the tall boys. All right. Again, in English, you only add s to the boys and mix it into a plural sentence. But in Spanish, you have to have everything. Otherwise, again, it would not make sense. Okay. So that's what basically what Acuerdo de Género y Número is. Gender and number agreement. That's what it is. If it's a boy, everything else has to be a boy. If it's a girl, everything else has to be a girl. Now, there are always exceptions. Always. Remember the letter E, is neutral. So that's an exception. We'll talk about that later on. But right now, I want you to concentrate just on the O and the A, which is the most basic. Basically, if it ends in A, 95% of the time it's going to be a girl. Some exceptions. If it ends in O, 95% of the time it's going to be a boy. Some exceptions. All right? But we don't worry about the exceptions now. Okay? All right? Guys, quédense seguros. Lávense las manos. Okay, los extraños. Stay safe. Wash your hands. I miss you a lot. All right? Adiós.